Hi everybody, this is Patrick from Clarity Media. Today I'm going to be solving one of our 5x5 grid logic puzzles from our logic puzzle book, Detective Dilemmas, which contains a large number of logic puzzles, mostly 5x5 grids like this, but also some cryptograms, safecrackers, tracks, battleships, etc. as well. And you can find a link to that in the description. But first off, what is a grid logic puzzle? Well, you're looking at one. In a grid logic puzzle, you're given clues and you're given categories in a grid, and you use the grid to match each item in the category to one item from every other category. So you see here I've got the diamonds, their weight, their shape and colour. So Evershine in the top left, right here, could be blue, could have a cushion cut, could be 35 carats. Obviously, it can't be blue and clear, can't be cushion and marquise cut. It can't be 35 and 40 carats. So the first thing about a logic puzzle is that every item can only be linked to one other item in each category. And additionally, even though this isn't as immediately apparent, you can't have two of the same ever. So you can't have, let's say, two diamonds that are 35 carats. In a grid logic puzzle, each item is unique, otherwise you wouldn't be able to solve it. And what I'm going to do today is I've already solved this, and I'm going to walk you through my solve and explain my reasoning every step of the way. Because these are 5x5 grids, which is maybe a larger size than you're used to. And they also include comparative logic, which can be really quite difficult to wrap your head around. So, for instance, one of the clues says the blue diamond is heavier than the cushion cut diamond. It's not just the blue diamond isn't the cushion cut diamond, there's actually a heaviness. And there's things such as, one diamond is 5 carats more than another, but one is 10 carats more. So you've got to keep that all in your head. And that's where the grid comes in handy, because trying to do it mentally is very taxing. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll first start by reading the clues, and then I'll enter all the clue information into the grid, and then we'll start our deduction phase. So the premise of the puzzle, I won't go through every word, but there's been a diamond heist in London, apparently, and only some details have been shared with the investigating officers, so they need to use logic to deduce the rest. And so they've been told, first off, that Waverley is a 45 carat diamond. So that's our first thing. What we do is we put a tick where Waverley and 45 intersect, because we know the only 45 carat diamond is Waverley, as I outlined already. And then a cross, or in this case, just a red line through every other weight, because Waverley now can't be 35 and 40. It must be 45. So that's the first item. Waverley is 45 carats. It's also not blue. So I just put a line through blue here. Waverley cannot be blue. What's next? It says the Wilmington diamond has a marquise cut. I think it is marquise. I don't know. Someone tell me. If you know, tell me in the comments. So again, a tick between where Wilmington intersects marquise and a red line through every other part of that part of the grid. Then St. Ignatius is olive coloured. Likewise, olive ticked, red line through the rest, because St. Ignatius can't be blue, clear, pink, or yellow, and olive can't be any of the other diamonds. This is where it gets a bit interesting. Next clue is the pink diamond weighs 5 carats more than Waverley. So as the pink diamond weighs 5 carats more than Waverley, this is what I do. I know that pink can no longer be the lightest diamond. Lightest? Yeah, carats is weight, isn't it? I assume carats is weight. So the pink can't be 35, because if the pink were 35, it couldn't weigh more than Waverley. So that's what I do there. And then for the next one, Evershine weighs less than the yellow diamond. What I've done here is I've said, well, first off, Evershine can't be yellow. If it weighs less than the yellow diamond, it can't be the yellow diamond. It also can't be the heaviest. It can't be 55 carats, because then it couldn't weigh less than the yellow diamond. So cross that out. And additionally, the yellow diamond can't be the lightest, because then it couldn't weigh more than Waverley. That's a good start. And then next up, we have Evershine weighs 5 carats more than the round cut diamond, and 10 carats more than the oval cut diamond. So again, what I'm just doing here is making it clear that Evershine isn't the oval or the round cut, because it weighs more than them, and also just making it clear here that the oval can't be 50 or 55 because then Evershine couldn't be 10 carats more than it. The round can't be 55 because then Evershine couldn't be 5 more than it. And likewise, Evershine can't be 35 or 40 carats because if it were 35, 40 carats, it couldn't weigh 10 carats more than the oval could. And you can see now quite a nice, simple deduction. Because of all the crossings out I've done, Evershine can only be 50 carats. Whatever those are. Yeah, so Evershine can only be 50 carats. And therefore, I put a tick between Evershine and 50, cross out the rest. So what's next? Wilmington, as we can see, has a marquise cut. And the marquise cut, what did I do here? The marquise cut can't be olive. Because Wilmington is marquise and St. Ignatius is olive, then olive and marquise are mutually exclusive. So that was the next step. And as we also know, the weight of Waverley is 45. That means St. Ignatius can't be 45, which we already knew, but also olive can't be 45. Or 50, because 50 is the weight of Evershine. So I hope you kind of follow what's happening here. We're taking the logic from one part of the puzzle and transferring it to another. So St. Ignatius is olive, Waverley is 45, therefore olive can't be 45 as well as St. Ignatius. And Evershine's 50, so St. Ignatius and olive can't be 50 either. So that's what I've done there. And my next step is to figure out, as a result, that Evershine is 50. Now, we have a clue. Evershine weighs less than the yellow diamond. So if Evershine's 50, the yellow diamond must be 55. So that's what I've done there. Just tick that off nicely. And moving onward, we also have, St. Ignatius can't be 55 now because we know it's olive. So the yellow diamond is 55, so St. Ignatius can't be 55. Nice and simple. Followed by the pink diamond, deducing the pink diamond must be 50. Because we know from one of the clues it's 5 carats more than Waverley. Waverley is 45, the pink diamond is 50. And this also lets us figure out that Evershine is the pink diamond, which is quite nice. And that's what I've just done there. Evershine is the pink diamond. My next deductive step is to figure out that the oval diamond is 40 carats. This is because of clue 5. Evershine is 10 more carats than the oval cut. We now know Evershine is 50, therefore the oval cut must be 40. It's also 5 more carats than the round cut, which means the round cut is 45. Next up, I see that Waverley has to be the round cut diamond because the 45 carat diamond, beg your pardon, is round. We already know from clue number 1, Waverley is 45 carats. So that's nice and easy. I next just fill in some basic information at the bottom. Since I know Evershine is pink and St. Ignatius is olive, I can then say, well, olive and pink can't be round and marquise cut because the round and marquise cuts belong to other diamonds. They belong to Waverley and Wilmington. And just filling that in, it might not look very helpful now, but potentially we'll be able to get a deduction by crossing out everything piece by piece. I can also say that Waverley cannot be yellow because yellow is 55 and we know Waverley is 45. Now, if I therefore cross out yellow, I simultaneously can see only clear remains. Waverley is the clear diamond. And therefore, the clear diamond, we've got all the information now for Waverley. It's clear, it's round, and it's 45 carats. And we can therefore transfer this around the whole rest of the grid. Down here, you can see I've done clear is 45, round is 45. You don't need to fill the whole grid and solve the puzzle, but sometimes making these deductions, it is essential to make these deductions. Because now, with all these crossings out, what I've allowed myself to see is that the blue can only be 40. So let's make that as well. And therefore, olive can only be 35. Add that in. We already know olive is St. Ignatius. So St. Ignatius is 35. I tick that off. Excellent. It's all, we're now getting what I call a cascade. So eventually, you've made enough deductions, you've put enough in the grid that suddenly you can just start ticking everything off. My next step is to see that cushion cut gem can only be 35 or 50 carats. But we know from clue number 6 that it's heavier than the blue. Oh, sorry, the blue is heavier than the cushion cut. Now, as the blue is 40, the cushion cut has to therefore be 35. So we put that in. And again, with all the crossings out, I can see, maybe I already could see this, I don't know. But I've just noticed pear only has one slot remaining. No, okay, so by crossing this out, I've made it clear that pear now can only be Evershine. So I tick that off. And then there's now only one cut not accounted for, the oval cut. It's got to be Stella Maris. The oval cannot be the heaviest diamond. And the reason this is important is because Stella Maris is either 40 or 55. But the oval cut weighs less than Evershine. That's in clue number 5. So if the Stella Maris is oval, then it can't be number 50, carat 55. It has to be carat 40, as Evershine is 50. So we'll put that in and see Stella, and that also gives us Stella Maris is blue, because Stella Maris is 40. Well, you know blue is 40. What's left? What is left? Yeah, Wilmington can't be 40. I should have crossed this off, but I haven't just yet. Can't be 40 because Stella Maris is 40. Can't be 35. Can't be 45. Can't be 50. Wilmington is carats 55. And then now, all that's actually left, because you see, you can get your answer by reading on the top. So Evershine, pink, pear, 50. All that's left is to work out whether Evershine is blue or yellow. But actually, this is being a bit sloppy. I should have properly crossed it off when I put Stella Maris in. Wilmington can't be blue. It must be yellow. So that's all the grid that actually needs to be filled in to get an answer to the puzzle. And you should probably, when solving these puzzles, be using a table at the same time. The table can help because at least it helps you bracket in your head which items go with the other items. But anyway, I'll stop babbling. I'll just quickly give you the puzzle solution. So reading on the top, Evershine is the pink diamond with a pear cut 50 carats. St. Ignatius is the olive cut. The olive cut? My goodness, I'm sorry. Is the olive diamond with the cushion cut with 35 carats. Stella Maris is the blue diamond oval cut 40 carats. Waverley is the clear diamond round cut 45 carats. And lastly, Wilmington is the yellow diamond marquise cut 55 carats. So there you go. That's a 5x5 logic grid puzzle solved with comparative clues, where it's not just X is not Y or X is Y, it's also X is larger than Y in the case of the carats or smaller than Y. And Detective Dilemmas has a grand total, I think, of how many puzzles does it have overall? I think it has at least 70 of these grid logic puzzles. So if you're after a logic puzzle fix, Detective Dilemmas is the book for you. So they can be tricky, but I hope that having watched this video, you see that if you take them formulaically, if you note down every piece of information in the grid, it will give you the tools to actually solve the puzzle. And they usually take, I think, around 20 minutes, is about how long this one took me. 20 minutes to half an hour. Sometimes you do get snagged and it can take a lot longer. But there you go. Right. Thank you for bearing with me and have a good day.